Jinkies! I'm on salad, and I saw Scooby-Doo, the 2002 one, the one where James Gunn is the screenwriter. Also, it's directed by Raya Gosnell. My limited exposure to this movie is just seeing a couple of scenes out of context and be like, oh, this is interesting. And let me tell you why it's interesting. If you haven't seen this movie, you gotta go watch it, or else I'm gonna spoil all of it for you. This big spoilers. But if you're also not interested in watching this movie, keep sticking around. You'll figure out if you want to watch this movie or not. Alright, so let's start with the Scooby Gang. I bet you already know what Scooby-Doo is. It's been around since the 60s. You probably know. So, the movie starts. Well, we get to see the Scooby Gang. They're here to capture a ghost. To figure out who this ghost man is. He's big floating. Luna Ghost, as they call it in the movie. And during this entire, capture, I guess, there's just they're in a warehouse where there's a bunch of obstacles, and it's like, oh, what are these obstacles for? They got a skate ring, one of those skate ramps that you just skate on in a warehouse. And it's oh, okay, this is fun. All these contraptions are fun to see everyone crash into, and it's showing that everybody has not the best chemistry because they're ruining everyone else's attempts to capture the guy, but then they do eventually capture the guy. Turns out to be a dude, a normal dude. Just a normal Scooby-Doo way. But, unlike normal Scooby-Doo, in the first Scooby-Doo movie, I assume, it's, at least live action one anyway, they split up because Daphne doesn't want to be a damsel in distress no more. And you got Velma, she has big brain ideas, it's always being taken from Fred, and Fred's just, not very, whatever it's called rewarding people for whatever actions that they've been doing. And Fred's just been oh, give me all the praise, all the attention. So basically everyone's problem is with Fred. So pretty much everyone, it's alright, we're gonna leave. We're gonna split up. Velma starts, here's a brilliant idea, I quit. And then Daphne is man, I wanted to quit, but everyone's gonna think I did it because of the smart girl. It's well, you kind of did. And then Fred's I quit too. And they all split up. And guess who gets the car? Shaggy and Scooby. But it's it's Fred's car. Why does Fred just walk away? What car does he have? He's... It doesn't matter, not really. All that does matter is that 2 years later, you get to see good old pal Shaggy and Scooby just in the van. They're living in the van. It's a nice, cozy van. Honestly, it's a nice place. I would like to definitely chill in that van. And you get to see some guy knocking on the door, Mr. Do, Mr. Rogers, but it's oh, Mr. Do, ooh, Mr. Do, and they have to eat all the foods, but they scramble out of the van, and it's hey, we got this ticket for you. This guy really wants you to help solve a mystery. Come to Spooky Island. Shaggy has the right response. He's I'm not going anywhere with the name Spooky in it. And nothing spooky, ghouls, ghosts, paranormal, none of that stuff's going into... I'm not going into any of that, pretty much. But they're bribed by food, all you can eat. Personally, same here. If there was an all-you-can-eat buffet and somebody was, hey, here's some tickets, I'd be yeah, I'm down. Let's go. But they're at the airport. They meet the rest of the gang there. Daphne has like 7 carry-on bags. This was after 9/11, so there's a lot more strict stuff in terms of what you could do. Well, okay, first of all, this movie got released in 2002. But that doesn't mean this movie was filmed in 2001. It could have been filmed in like 2000, before all these pesky regulations started, and airplanes, and also the airplane that they're on is super rad. It's like a bus. Well, let's say it's like a bus, but you don't have to sit down the entire time. They're all walking about. It's the coolest airplane. I've never been in an airplane like this. Like, all the airplanes I've been on, they've been very quiet. Seatbelts required almost the entire time. And they don't got leaves. This airplane has leaves in it. And Shaggy meets this girl named Mary Jane. Oh, that's my favorite name ever. Ooh, that's Shaggy. I wonder why his favorite is Mary Jane. But anyway, pretty much she's allergic to dogs. They get Scooby sneaking up in the airplane. By the way, I gotta mention, CG, dated. Very dated. I mean, Scooby looks good. I like it. But it's like, also, I can tell this was made in the early 2000s by the quality of the CG. But, you know, it's okay. But Scooby goes on the plane as a grandma. Mary Jane sneezes a lot. Achoo, achoo. Oh, I'm just allergic to dogs. Can't you tell? This is like a big bad wolf situation. You got the Scooby in the grandma's clothing. It's so obvious he's a dog. But anyway, no one questions this whatsoever. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They all go to the Spooky Island. It's an amusement park. And it's haunted. Ooh, ooh. Spooky Island, of course, is haunted. But you got the head honcho guy. Montevideo is how I remember his name. But I know that's not his name. But I'm gonna call him Montevideo anyway. It's close enough. But, man, he's like, hey, look at all these tourists over here. And you got tourists, they're just kind of standing there like, kind of empty. And you got people interacting with them who, you got like punk kids interacting with the tourists who have been brainwashed, as he says it. And he's pretty much like, bruh, but love, I loved you, you're punk AF. And then the brainwashed tourist goes, who are you? I don't even like you. And it's sad. These brainwashed tourists. And now that's the mystery for them to solve. What time? Wow, amazing solving time. But it's really fun that they go to more inside the park. And they go to this like circle thing. You got a bunch of people dancing there. And pretty much these people are telling the tourists there, hey, this island's haunted. There's a bunch of demons everywhere. I don't think any of the tourists were listening. They're probably like, ooh, flashing light. I love flashing lights. But it's like, they're literally telling you it's haunted. They talk to the mystery gang, hey, it's haunted. There's demons here. They're going to eat you up. They're going to eat your soul. Also, Velma eventually finds this pyramid. It's called the Daemon Ritus. I'm gonna call it the pyramid egg for short because it opens up and it got a little orb egg inside of it. It's got some fun typography that Velma's a really good expert at. Also, I gotta mention this before I go on. Daphne. She has mentioned that she's a black belt. Between the 2 years of her doing them splitting up, them coming back together, she's become a black belt. So either, well, I looked up online, it takes 5 years to be a black belt. I feel like the most I've ever seen was like 2 or 3 years. It's a little bit believable. But Daphne works really hard for that black belt because she does not want to be a damsel in distress. So that's some character growth right there. But Daphne, there are moments where she's just like, I want to be damsel in distress, and then kind of acts like it, but not really. Not in like the traditional damsel in distress way at this point in the movie. But anyway, Scooby is separated from them. Gets yoinked. Yoink! Then the others, except for Shaggy, because Shaggy is like trying to hook up with Mary Jane, gets yoinked. Yoink! And their souls get sucked. And then they get brainwashed. They're released back to the wild, like they're a bunch of animals or something. And it is now Scooby's job to find these souls. He kind of just stumbles upon a cave that he falls into. Oh no, not a hole, but in this hole he finds a bunch of souls. All these souls of everyone that's been taken, everyone that's been possessed, and he kind of just yoinks the souls of his friends. First is Velma, then it's Daphne, who's like, "Oh, don't save me! I'm a strong, independent woman." He's like, "You need help. You're a literal floating soul. Go to find your body." And then between finding Fred, he finds another guy. He's like, "Oh, you're not my friend." He sticks him back in, which is horrifying. That person was pleading for help, and you're like, "Nope, you don't need help. Ka-chow, go back." Then the souls finds Fred's soul, and the souls go flying, and so does Shaggy. Shaggy's looking for his other friends, and during this entire process, there's a whole body switcheroo kind of thing going on. You got Shaggy switches souls with Velma and Daphne and Fred. Everyone has each other's body. This is only when Velma is like, here's the diamond, here's the Damon Ridis, here it is. And then the soul swap. Fred and Shaggy are perverts. They're like, "Oh, let's look at each other's, let's look at the girl's assets. Ooh, boobies, I love it." Pretty much. And then Velma's like, "Jinkies." You know, a lot. But what's super fun, they're back together. They're here to stop the ultimate evil, which is underground. They have a bunch of rope. They took Scooby, by the way. This is where Scooby's at, because Scooby's a pure good boy soul. He's got the goodest soul. They got a whole rope system that they were like, "Hey, we're gonna have all these ropes and pulleys to kill all these demons." By the way, I have not mentioned these demons. They are not real, so I understand why it's hard to base the physics of these demons off of anything that exists. But they're monstrosities. But they're monstrosities that are adorable, and they're very cartoony. So I guess they're cartoony. That's the effect that they were going for. Good job, you guys did it. These demons look like cartoons, but they're also abominations, and I want them, they're in my brain, and I want them out. But they're also in the other people's brains, when their souls. Basically, these demons host these souls, and then once the souls come back, then the demons leave, and then they get burnt up to a crisp. So that's why they have the whole pulley system, so they can pull this rock, big old rock, to release all these demons, go burr. But the system doesn't work, and instead they get caught in the fire of Scooby's soul's about to be taken. Oh no, they have to get Scooby. It takes them a second, but they get Scooby. They rescue Scooby. And in process of rescuing Scooby, they figure out who this person is. Oh, it's a robot. Actually, no, it's Scrappy-Doo. Okay. Man. I just realized that I skipped a fundamental scene that I was originally going to score this like a 6, but I lost like at least 3 points because of I saw it coming far away. Scooby and Shaggy have a farting contest, and it goes on for too long. And then they have another one. And when Scrappy's there, he also does the farting, which is so disgusting. It's just like, I don't want it in any of my movies. Please do not include bodily humor in any movie. He even, like, in a flashback, he, like, pees on Daphne. That's questionable, but no. Bad. So anyway, figure out Scrappy-Doo is the villain. He absorbs all the souls. He's gonna suck them up like ramen, slurp slurp. And he wants to kill them, but he gets stopped. Oh no! Uh-oh, no. Suck all them souls back out. Have the souls go back to the tourists. Scrappy-Doo is a bad puppy. He's bad. I do not like him. And it makes me feel that the writers of this movie also didn't like Scrappy-Doo because he sucks. He's not a good character. I don't like him. But anyway, they figure out the mystery. Ooh, turns out it was demons and monsters and whatnot. And whatever his name is, Shaggy. He's like, oh, monsters are real, but we have friends that are met along the way that are also real. Doesn't say a quote like that, but pretty much same sentiment. They get back together. They figure out the mystery of everything behind these body snatching. I'm gonna call it body snatching. And all the tourists have their souls returned to them. And that's, oh yeah, the ending is very reminiscent of the first Star Wars, the Phantom Menace, the Jubilee kind of thing. The song's really happy too. It's like, woo, yeah, we did it, we beat the ultimate evil. That's the end. And that's the end. Man, other than the CG being a big brain kind of stuck in my head. It's kind of stuck in my brain, rather. The character outfits were pretty rad. And the set pieces were pretty rad. Honestly, the story itself is pretty rad. I mean, it's quite silly. It's silly, but it's Scooby-Doo. It's not supposed to be taken that seriously. However, my biggest contention, and this goes for any movie, all of them, they have potty humor. They got the farts. Ew, gross, disgusting. Please get it away from me. I'm gonna chuck this movie far out of my sight. So, I gotta give this movie a solid 3 out of 10. If you like that content and more content at patreon.com/ASEPresents for $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs plus some extended mint salad sauce. Also, $20 a month, you get to request a movie. Go check out patreon.com/ASEPresents. More links to support me. Wow, more adult content. Check out my link tree. It's on the screen. Go click it. If you like adult content, you'll like this. Click it now. Do it now. Why haven't you done it? It's right here. Do it. Until next time, I'm in Salad Saw. I'll see you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits. Jinkies!